Hello everyone. So I did a little bit of a mess up today. I was going to use my camera, then I realised at the last minute that I didn't actually turn it off properly. So well, old school time, motherfuckers, and well, drama time. Oh well, it was a long time coming, but hey, new stuff has come out, so let's talk about this. Late intro. And today's video is about Woolly Bumblebee versus Bearing and the thing that's happened with her. So let's just get through with the background, shall we? So what's happened is that Bearing and Woolly Bumblebee have had a war of words. They've had a debate online, a few back and forths on videos, and essentially it was about the usual stuff, as you can imagine. And some words were particularly told, specifically Woolly Bumblebee having the nerve to tell Bearing that, oh, you're a thief because you stole the copyrighted bear from Total Drama Island, which is technically true. But then, of course, Bearing mentioned, well, you stole that money from that thing that you were supposed to do for a men's charity with the honey badgers all those years ago, so you can't talk. Of course, this triggers Woolly Bumblebee. So if anybody wants to get a cheap one-time trigger, just say that to her. Trust me, she'll block you instantly. So that is essentially the background, people. That is the background. Now, during all of this, Woolly Bumblebee received threats. And now that is, of course, in inverted commas. I just can't be bothered to air quote it, but threats. And this has made her do essentially a Dr. Moriarty and delete her channel. Now, she has since made a blog post on her blog, and we'll read that because she shows the threats. And well, keep Dr. Moriarty in mind, keep Bearing in mind, and also as we read through the blog, keep a few other things in mind. You'll see some things that make it a little bit fishy. But before I do that, you have to do the customary thing because there are stupid people out there. Yes, I am categorically against threats. Now, the threats that she received were threats against her family. She has kids, as well as a husband, Joe, and I am against that entirely. If these are genuine, real threats, nobody should be fucking doing that. That is disgusting behaviour, especially when you threaten kids. You keep the family out of that. Now, she claims, and we see this in the email, that this guy was a fan of Bearing, and he was saying that, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, that and the other. But rather than let me tell you guys, let's get into it, shall we? And the blog post is entitled Death Threats and Leaving YouTube. For those of you who follow me on Twitter and YouTube, I'm sure you are aware that Bearing recently put out a video dragging up old crap that dates back to when I used to work at AVFM. You can read all about it here, and here. You work for them, Woolly, and read all about it on your own blog, showing your own point of view, not the other side of the coin, where you essentially try to prove your innocence. Of course, if Bearing had bothered to do any research, he would have known all that already and not accused me of being a thief, just like the losers at AVFM did. Well, you have this massive albatross on your neck linked to thievery, so you probably shouldn't have brought up his and then expect him to, fire back with your own little controversy now, eh? I'm just saying, you're attacking him for that, but you're the one who dished it first, so as you'll soon see, people, there's a pattern of her not being able to take what she dishes out. But let's just continue. I have been fighting these bullshit accusations for years now. They are based on zero evidence, and I have provided all the evidence to prove that I did not ever steal a fucking thing. My only crime? Trying to do something good for men and then getting shit on by those who supposedly care about men's issues. Oh, well, that's funny, because as far as we know, the money never reached the charity. You never did a good thing. Where did it go? True believers are always going to true believe, no matter what you say or show them. Exactly. Just like how when you were a true believing MRA, you were a true believing anti-SJW, a true believing rationalist skeptic, and now a true believing leftist sort of social justice type. Yeah, you've been a true believer on all sides. You know exactly what it's like to be a true believer, and you know exactly how to profit off them, but that's just me. Let's continue. But thanks to Bearing bringing this shit up again, I've been inundated with hateful comments on YouTube and Twitter, par for the course really, and usually something I have no problem ignoring. That was until last night when I received this in an email. But you see, Woolly, You dish things out, you court controversy, you attention seek. This is your MO and your husband's MO. This is what you do. So why are you complaining about Bearing bringing up shit and getting inundated with hateful comments? Which, by the way, him bringing that up was not the real reason why you were probably getting so-called threats and hateful comments. It was probably because of your shit arguments and your attempts at attention seeking. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure it's not ages old shit that's making these fans attack her. Maybe they're bringing that up because it would be a double standard of you to do so, but hey, whatever. Who started this? I don't know. Now let's take a look at the screenshots. Now, as you can see here, it's from Redacted. Interesting, Wooly. Why would you redact the email address? I mean, name and shame. This is a person who's doing an actual threat. They're posting an actual threat to you, but you're not sharing us the name. You're not going to name and shame. I guess I would interfere with the police investigation. More on that later, people. I mean, it's not like you going public is going to interfere, if anything. And he says, or she says, because we don't know who it is, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. And then they sent another one, and they say, I know where you live, something something Quebec. I know where your kids go to school. I'm going to come kill you, bitch. You can't accuse people like Bearing of stealing shit without consequences, and now you have consequences coming. I'm going to get you and your kids. I hope you're happy, cunt. I will be so happy to see you scream. Fuck you. This threat, though, people, this threat, it's a carbon copy of Dr. Moriarty. Bearing has a spat with him, they have a back and forth, and then eventually, out of nowhere, the threats appear and channels are deleted. And again, it is claimed that Bearing fans did it. I can't help but notice a pattern here. This is too much of a coincidence. And why is it that in particular the person brings up the thievery accusation, even though it was proven that he did technically steal it, he did technically breach copyright, but like, why that and not the other things that she said or the other things that she does? Why that in particular? That, I don't know. If you want to threaten me, have at it. I'm quite used to personal threats after years of being a controversial person online, but when it crosses the line to threatening my kids, I take it incredibly seriously. The person who sent this knows what my address is and what school my kids go to. Sorry, but that has crossed the line in more ways than one. And yes, I have contacted the police and they are forwarding the report to RCMP. See, the thing is, Wooly, yeah, if you're going to go out there and attention seek and court controversy, this shit's going to happen. Because Sargon has also had threats to his family, but he still continues. And we know that stuff like this on the internet, when people send threats, 99% of it is bullshit. If they're going to go and kill you and they know where you live, I'm pretty sure that they will do it without even warning you. It is abhorrent. I don't like it. It's horrible, if it's true, of course. But you've contacted the police and they are forwarding a report, and yet you are going public with this, and you've redacted the email assuming because you don't want it to interfere with the police investigation, yet you're going public. You do know that the FBI and police investigative services around the world constantly say, don't go public with this, because this gives the person attention, this gives the person power, this pretty much muddies the waters, it makes the investigation harder. Essentially, it's one of the worst things you could possibly do. I'm wondering, why else would anybody go public with this if it wasn't some kind of big attention-seeking thing, if it wasn't some kind of thing to garner sympathy, to garner some kind of controversy, and to shit on somebody who's big and who she has a personal gripe with? I don't know, because there's a pattern here that social justice warriors do and cry bullies, and this seems to fit the bill in my opinion. But I could be wrong. I could be entirely wrong. Of course, this could well be 100% true, and in which case she has my sympathies. But let's continue, because this next paragraph, I think it really says something. My question to Bearing is why? Why did you feel the need to make that video? I'm a small YouTuber that doesn't really matter much. Who cares if I came out and agreed you stole Fresh TV's artwork? Which you did. It's called intellectual property theft. Look it up. Who cares if I think you did something crappy? I don't have any clout, any power, or any way to affect your life in any significant way. But yet you found that what I said to be so egregious, so harmful to your ego in some way, that you had to do a video where you dredged up old debunked shit from 2013. You sold it to your massive audience as truth, and didn't even link to my blog where you can find all the proof that I stole nothing. And now I have been dogpiled by your little fans who think I am the scum of the earth. when I didn't do the thing you accused me of. I've been getting nothing but hate-filled comments, threats and general bullshit since you made that video. Does that make you feel awesome? Does that prop up your fragile ego? I mean, it must be fragile since a small, inconsequential YouTuber like me seems to have gone under your skin so badly by not idolizing you. Think about how pathetic that really is. Oh really? Really? Bearing's pathetic for making a response video. I know I'm totally not pathetic by playing the victim here and trying to say that, oh, because he's so big, he can't respond to you because you're so small in comparison. Well, I'm only 2,000 subs. I don't know, am I 2,000 subs bigger than you now? Would that count against me? What about Fresh Whole Milk's video? You can't respond to him, can you, with the thing that he did recently? This is bullshit. This is essentially advocating for self-censorship, because her playing the victim saying, oh, if a big YouTuber does this, this harassment therefore will happen, and that means that he can't respond to me because I'm little, I'm insignificant. This is essentially her saying, yeah, my opinions are sacrosanct, my opinions cannot be criticised by anyone bigger than me. Why? Because essentially, if somebody like him does debunk what she says, and a big enough audience sees it, she's fucked. That's why people like SCWs, the smaller ones at least, always go on about this. Because the more people who see that they are full of shit, the less power they have, and the less chance they have of winning the debate they have as well. Bearing did nothing but respond to you. It wasn't about ego, it wasn't about anything in particular. He didn't do it to harass you, didn't do it to sick his fans on you. He responded to you because that's what he does. He responds to people who respond to him. It's called debate, Wooly. And I think that's something that you really like to do. And by the way, you keep saying that all of this is debunked, oh, this is old news, and yet you say, oh, you should link to my blog where I say that I am innocent. Yeah, you are not the person who should be judging that. And of course, you're going to link to the most biased source. I'm not surprised. So thanks to Bearing, she continues, I am now forced to leave YouTube for now. I will leave my channel up, but I will not be making any new content. My video comments have been disabled, my Twitter has been made private, and the RCMP is handling a death threat made against me and my kids. All of this because I dared to not toe the line, because I had a different opinion, because I do not idolise Bearing, and I am not the first one to receive this level of crap because of Bearing. So I hope you are happy, Bearing et al. I hope you find it incredibly amusing that my kids and I have been threatened with death. I hope you relish in making others scared and upset. You are a sick individual with no compassion or empathy whatsoever, and I'm sure you don't give a shit about anything I've said here because, in the end, I don't think you're actually capable of any genuine human emotion, Christina. Oh, Wooly, never change. Because nothing seems to suggest that this isn't nothing more than an attention-seeking stunt to smear Bearing, other than essentially blaming him for this threat, if it even is a real threat. So, I don't know about you people, but there clearly is something personal going on here. There is a personal motive behind this. She clearly was not happy with Bearing, she has an axe to grind, or, as in typical Wooly Bumblebee style, simply wants a bit of that dough. And it's funny that she mentions that Bearing must be a sick individual who doesn't want to help, because if we go over to Noel Plum's video about this and in the comments, we see this. See my latest video. Yes, I offered to assist in any way I could yesterday. I asked Wooly for a copy of the threats and the police report. She told me she'd reported it to the police by that stage, was prepared to publicly condemn the threats, help identify the person responsible and cooperate with the police department investigating. I got a 2-word answer, fuck off. Is that same thing happened with Phil Moriarty? Interesting people, Bearing asks to help Wooly, but Wooly, strangely enough, says, no, I don't want your help. Same thing with Moriarty. Why would someone who's in need of help, who is basically really angry and blaming Bearing, yet Bearing's trying to say, it wasn't me, I'm willing to help you, I'm going to call this person out, let's find out who it was, get to the bottom of this. Now, if I was Wooly and I was genuinely threatened, wouldn't I want his help? Because maybe he actually could feasibly help? No, apparently not. Apparently a person who's being threatened, seriously threatened, wants to tell the one person who she's blaming or has any inkling as to who knows who could have done it, no help whatsoever. Right, Wooly, right. Just a quick addendum, Bearing also, as you saw, wanted to see the police record in private. He offered to view it to basically tell everybody that it's legit and there's no need to, jump to conclusions or anything. Yet she said no. Why would she say no when she can prove that these threats are legit? She can prove that her record that she did report this to police. That is also true. But why did she say no? Why would somebody who is being genuinely threatened refusing to show these things, or to show people in private so that these people can verify that? Why? Are you hiding something? Is there no police report? Is there a police report? Come on, Wooly. All you have to say is yes, some people can view it and they can verify it to the world without showing it in public, because you know, you don't have to. Plus, it would look really bad to the police and it would not help the investigation anyway. That's all we're asking for, Wooly. And in this video by Fresh Old Milk, a friend of mine, he also shows a few tweets with the Woolly Bumblebee essentially being very public and trying to troll people while she's supposed to be in hiding, and at the same time is watching videos, feminist videos. And this is what my buddy Bearing Cab pointed out. She's casually watching these videos publicly and yet supposed to be in hiding. And we're supposed to believe that these threats were genuine. Now look, people, I don't know what the truth actually is. I'm inclined to believe it's another kind of attention-seeking act from Wooly in an attempt to smear Bearing, but then again, I could well be wrong. I don't know. But something stinks. The fact that the threat is very similar, in fact it's exactly the same as a Dr. Moriarty one, the fact that she had a similar response to him, and the fact that she's doing all these things and seems to have this thing where she has to smear Bearing rather than, you know, actually try and get to the bottom of it. And she's called the police, yet is making the police's job harder and essentially making this investigation for her apparent threat fucked. But anyway, people, I'll leave it up to you to decide. See you later.